Good morning. Sunday morning here. Late and procrastinating as ever for the next podcast to put up. You know, it is what it is. To be honest with you, I really have not felt like doing one. I do, but I didn't. But it's amazing what a little lack of work and a little more sleep does for someone, and that's me. So, been doing well. The last couple of weeks, pulling some hellacious 24-hour shifts, 36-hour shifts. You know the heat. You know how it's been feeling outside. It's just been, not it sounds like a bitch and a grape, but it is to a degree, and just exhausted, along with school. But fortunately, I'm very blessed this week. It's been very nice. 12 hours Friday. Came home, went to bed, got up. 12 hours. Came home. And just rolled my fat behind out of bed about 7:45 in the morning. And you can ask any of my children or wife, I do not sleep like that. I do not sleep in. And it kind of has me worried a little bit. I've always been an early morning person, getting up and 5:36, even on my days off, and really enjoying it. I don't know, maybe age is creeping up on me. Probably so. Maybe because I'm really out of shape from sitting in the classroom for a year. Less time on the truck doing physical stuff. No time in the gym. Had to get the membership up. It's still excuses. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Because not too long, we're going to be done. August 9th, pinning ceremony. So, with all that being said, what to talk about this morning? There's a lot of things I was thinking about, and then they would just kind of go away. And I'll think about some good ideas, and they kind of went away or two. So I might as well just talk about what we're all thinking about. If you listen to this podcast and you're part of the class, we have just taken our third modular, if I say that correctly, our third exam. We did that. I took it, to be honest with you. I made 2 points below what the passing grade needs to be. Not happy with myself. I tell you what I'm not happy with is I had to sit down with our teacher, go back through the questions. I about threw her laptop across the student center because, Lord mercy, the ones that I blatantly miss, I would have been in the 80s. So angry. I wasn't nervous about taking the test. I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the Skittles. Maybe I broke the cycle. And I am a little bit of superstitious. And maybe it was because I ate the Skittles. Yeah, let's blame it on the Skittles. The Skittles made me pick the wrong answers. But anyway, no, I can't say that. So, with that being said, it is what it is. It is what it is. I'm kind of on the edge, but kind of not. Maybe I'm a couple of feet away from the edge. And so that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about, I know there's some of us that are doing well, and that's great. That's great. And then there's some that are probably like me, some that are in the middle. They're hovering in the middle. They're not doing bad, and they're doing well. And then you got people like me. I always say, getting your toes on the edge. On the edge where you can't, you're going to fall off. And then you have some, and I don't know names or anything, and I'm assuming that there are probably some that really they're probably over the edge. Not done, but has to really kind of buckle down. Myself, I'm going to have to buckle down because I don't like being on the edge. So, what do you do? Well, I know with me, I'll tell you a little bit about myself and not my study habits, but when it comes to things that really matters in life. Hang on, I got some coffee here. And is this. I can go back all the way to high school. And yes, I have my paper report cards in my yearbook. I actually was looking at them the other day. I don't know why. And I was a good student. Besides math, C's, some B's, some C's in math, but everything else I had A, B's in. And did well. I did well, in that aspect there. And But from there out, getting out, joined the Coast Guard, and I got into aviation in the Coast Guard, and waited 2.5 years to go to aviation school. I was a structural mechanic, worked on aircrafts, metals, patch holes if there was a hole in it, kind of like an auto body shop, brakes, flight cables, anything that you can see and touch on the aircraft wise, structural wise, we worked on it, and I loved it. And that school was tough. It was tough, and I'm gonna be honest with you. I can remember out on the edge. That was me. I was on the edge of passing, but I did it, and then things moved on, and it just seemed like anything I do very big in life is it always appears that I'm on the edge. EMT school was easy. When I first did EMT school, that wasn't bad. And I'm thinking like career changes and such. I did that, and that was kind of an easy thing to do. We do have a national test, kind of like the NCLEX. We have one in EMS like that. It's called a National Registry Test. And I failed that the first time, and then I came back past it the second time. And then from there, I advanced up to the middle. I became an intermediate. Now they call them advanced EMTs, but back then they were called intermediate EMS. He was more like a glorified trauma person. You learned to start IVs. You could push one medication for low blood sugar patients. That I enjoyed. I did very well, but had a good teacher. I had a very good old Patty Labby. She was our training instructor at Lexington County EMS, and she was my instructor for that class. Thoroughly enjoyed. Passed the national registry test, no problem first time. Paramedic school came around, and then that's when I became on the edge with a lot of the tests. We took our things that were broken up, like trauma, medical, cardiac, pharmacology, things of that nature right there. And so, to be honest with you, I had to retake cardiac twice. I failed it the first time. And luckily, during our fall break, yet again, Miss Patty Labby, who taught my intermediate class, she taught the cardiac class. And I took that, passed it, and then when school started back up again, I was right back on track again. But it just seems like that I was just like on the edge. I would pass or I would fail within a couple of points. Now, when you would fail, you had an opportunity to take the test again. And so that's just part of the curriculum there. So when I would end up taking it a second time, I would pass, but just by a couple of points. And so with that being said, time moves on. And then the next big endeavor was, nursing where I'm at now. And I don't know. I've always kind of been like in the middle. And lately, I feel like I just been on the edge lately. And so, what do we make of all of this? I goes, well, sometimes you got to just know your limitations on things. I hate to say the word limitations. I guess there are some limits. If I say, hey, I want to be an astronaut. Most likely I will not be an astronaut, or I think I'll be a brain surgeon. There are some limitations that I put on myself. I know that I can't really do. But let's say this things that you're in right now. We can probably mentally put ourselves at limitations. That's a better word to look at it. And sometimes I've mentally put myself there, depressed or crappy attitude, or what I'm talking about. We're all adults here, and it's just one of those things that you just got to push through, and that's how I handle things like this. And I know I got to do better on the next one here, and sometimes it's making changes, little pivots here and there. And if it means maybe not, I'm most likely 9 times out of 10 I won't be working next weekend, because you know what? A lot of times, I know I'm rambling here, and so sometimes I say, we need to make changes. Maybe a study happens, but sometimes maybe it's like, what? I'm going to take the afternoon off starting at lunch. Each their own. I don't know, morning people. I am to a degree morning. I like to study in the morning. I like to do things. I like to do my podcast in the morning when I am not procrastinating. I just feel that I have more clarity. The house is more quiet. But on a personal level, I kind of feel like I'm at my sharpest. Then my brain is not filled with a lot of crap of stuff during the day. So I know I do better studying in the morning time. So, but I know, but maybe you like that. But what I'm saying is, a little time off. I think a lot of times we don't cut, and I know me, and I'm guilty. I'm guilty for not taking time off. I'm guilty. If I take time off, or I'm saying, I'm not going to work this day on the weekend, well, that means there won't be a good paycheck. Well, I'm kind of to a point now. I need to realize that it is what it is. If I got a crappy paycheck, what do you want? A good paycheck and not really passing a class, or no paycheck hardly at all, but you made a good grade and you're away from the edge. So that's what I'm kind of thinking right now. So maybe a lot of times it is just taking some time off and not feeling guilty about it there. And so that is a good thing to look at. Maybe some good advice for people who are really kind of worrying on what needs to be done there. And that's the only kind of advice I can give you right there, is that sometimes you just got to take a breather and get through that. So with that being said, that's all I really have for now, because got to break down, got to hit that PM predictor, and so got to work on those new gen questions. I flagged them all so I can come back and do them last, but we're going to knock them out. We're going to do well. August 9th. It's just right around the corner. So with all that being said, I know it's short and I know it's sweet. So let's go ahead, get the coffee going. If you drink Monster Bowls, sugary treats, whatever your thing is, let's hit it. Let's finish strong, and I will see y'all tomorrow morning in class with reviews almost each day. Big bonus there. So let's put the whining, the bitching, the griping, the woe is me, the I can't do this behind us, and let's finish strong and let's finish together. So y'all have a good Sunday morning. Let's enjoy the cooler weather, and let's hope for some more rain. I will see you then. Have a good day.